everybody. Today we're going to talk about how to mount a body on the touring car. And we have a matrix twister body today here. And we're going to go over the detail you need to pay attention to while mounting a touring car body. Okay, so let's go over what tool do we need to mount the perfect body. So the first thing we need is a Sharpie to mark out the body. Second is going to be scissors, a curved scissors. Third is going to be a body reamer to make the hole, of course. And then the fourth thing is wheel or this wonderful wheel maker or tool. Now, if you don't have the 3D printed part like this one, then you can use a wheel. But this 3D printed wheel maker is actually quite useful. We'll see it in the video. And if you want to buy one, I have a link below so you can check it out. And of course a caliper. A caliper is to measure the distance of the hole to make sure it's aligned, and then also to measure how much forward you want the body to be. Okay, so this is another tool that you're going to need for measuring the height of the body. And this is going to reach 115 on the body height, so you're going to need that. Okay, so something before you start to mount the body, and one thing that you need to make sure is the body post. The body post has to be straight. Now, this is one of the used car or old car, so we can only try to get the body post as straight as possible. It's always best to use a brand new body post, but this is the straightest as I can make it. So we're going to say this is roughly closest to the newest. So we're going to use this and continue making the body. Okay, so first we're going to cut the wing and cut all these things out. So let me do that now. Okay, so once you cut out roughly around here, not all the way to the line, just leave a little bit above it. Then now what you need to do next is use a Sharpie, mark the position you're going to follow up on the wheel, which is I'm going to move it maximum forward. So let's see where we're going to check it out on the wheel. Now we're going to put it on the car. And then you're going to try to get the axle to align to this as closest and best as possible. And then you're going to see where your body post is, and you're going to try to align it as center as possible, and then do a marking. So let me do that now. Okay, so now I just line up the axle to this line and made some marking on the body. Now, to make sure that you have the best possible and the center possible hole, you want to use a caliper to measure, or you want to check out if this dot and this dot is parallel. So you could use a caliper to do it, or if you're not so professional, then you're just going to need to trust your own eye. Okay, another way to measure how forward you have the body is you can measure the front windshield, the distance between the front windshield to the hole, to determine how forward you have the body. Now you can do it by this way, so that for the next time you mount a body, you can kind of tell how forward you had it. Okay, so now I just go and make the hole. With the body on it, so now we're going to check it out. If you can see, the wheel line is right here and the wheel is right here. And then right now the body is roughly a little bit higher. The line is higher than the wheel on front and back. So relatively a normal position. And now with the height gauge, we're going to check it's touching the roof. Pretty good, pretty legal. So that would be the traditional way of mounting the body. And then we got a special trick. We're going to run a little bit of a wick on the body. And how we're going to mount that, we're going to adjust the front body post, lower the front, and possibly raise the back, because we need to have the gauge to be able to reach the top and touch the top of the roof. So let me do that.
A few moments later.
Okay, so now I lower the front body post one more hole. Now the line is at the wheel, at the tire. And now you do this, it doesn't touch. So this special trick is the weight of the body. You're going to need to raise the back to get the roof to touch. And this will give you the extra steering and traction that you need. It actually make the body drive quite different. So this is a very special trick that we do with this body. I believe the Zoo Racing DBX, you have to do this even more. So there you go. So we're going to now adjust the back.
A few moments later.
So because he have the adjustable collar, so we can just twist that about maybe 1.5 mil or 2 mil up, and now the roof is touching. See, it's touching. So there you go. So now if you look at the wheel well, it's very, very low in the front. The back is really, really high. Okay, so now we have the position that we want. We can go to the next step. Okay, so the next step is to be able to use a Sharpie and just make a line. Then you will cut it out based on this line. Okay, so fast forward, I cut it out already. So I just mark the line and cut it out. Now this is not the final line, but we have to do this to go on to the next step. So the next step is use my magic wheel tool, stick in here, and draw out the circle. If you don't have that special tool, you use a tire, do this, and then you draw that circle. Or you can actually use a circle cutter, but I'm actually not very good with circle cutter. I'm better with my scissors. So let me mark the line and we go from there. Okay, so now I make my marking. This tool is actually great because even imagine the body is painted, you mark the hole. How can you tell where's your wheel? All you need to do is just stick it in there and it's pretty much center. So it's really, really easy to use. This is a great tool. So for somebody who want to get one, I totally recommend this. And then as soon as you do this, this actually is where the center of the axle too, so you can instantly see the center of the axle. So it's also a super good and easy way to make the wheel circle. Of course, for the ones that just mounting it normal and not forward, you can cut out, follow the wheel well, the actual wheel well. But for us, this is the way we do it. Okay, now I'm going to try to cut it out in front of the camera. So you're just going to go with the line on the outside line, you're going to try to do it all in one shot. Just slowly cut, and then use the curve and curve it, and do it all in one shot. Try not to stop, because as soon as you stop, it's going to be a chunk. So just follow that line, keep doing it. There you go. That is a perfect cut. Okay, so now I cut it out. Look at it. How nice is it? I didn't use any drum roll, so this is very, very nice. Look at it. Super nice. There you go. Super dial. Okay, so the next step is apply a little bit pressure. I cannot hold the camera, and you will redo this line again. You redraw this line and make sure you follow the line and cut out, because this, if you don't do this, it will touch the ground. So do it one more time, just double checking, and there you go. That's it with the initial work of the cutting, and now you're ready for paint. Okay, so now we go out to do some painting. Don't forget to put the window mask. We got many interesting racer that because they are doing this the last minute and forgot to put the window mask. This happened to many of my friends and it looked like crap afterwards. So okay, remember the window mask. And then now, let's do some painting. You want to do some light coat? There you go. It's quite light, just a touch. And then we're going to let it dry for a little bit, and then we're going to do a second coat. Okay. That's it, that's the second coat. For the race guy, they normally keep it light, so 2 coats should be enough. And as long as the color looks somewhat solid, that will do the job. Okay, so, and then of course, the hole for the spoiler. Because this body doesn't have a marking, so you're going to need to make your own. So you just need to measure how wide it is, and then divide by 2, that's 4.5. So basically you get the center point. Same thing in here. You just want to get it towards the center, and then you can mark the hole right here, and then line up the spoiler, mark the hole too, then you can drill through it. And then there you go. Now, the spoiler can be adjusted forward and backward, but for now, we're going to start off with a neutral position, so this will be a good start. Okay, so now the body is dry, so remember to take out the protective film before putting any sticker. That's another one of the mistake. But of course, for the race guy, they don't want to damage the paint, a brand new body yet. They can keep the protective film on for practice, and when the race comes, they can take it off.
A few moments later.
Okay, so now we stick it up, take off the protective film, put on the spoiler. Now the body looks very, very good. So there's one last thing that we have to do before we run. It is the bumper and the foam underneath the body. So let's take a look. So on this particular body, he already have the foam and it's actually quite perfect. So we didn't need anything for the bumper. But there's one more area that you need to put the foam on, which actually where the shock tower is. So we're going to show you. Okay, so this is the shock tower. On top of here, And the clearance of the body, you want to put a piece of foam, and actually that is going to give the body a lot more rigid in the front, and the car will have a lot more grip with this foam in place, which located right here. So I'm going to do it now. Okay, there you go, that's the piece of foam. So as soon as you put the body back on the car, the bumper is tight because there's a foam support right here, and then here where the downforce, when the air dynamic going to push, this is going to push against the chassis and the body, and it's rigid. So this area is going to be super tight, and this will allow you to have a lot more grip, a lot more downforce onto the car. So there you go, there we have it. The body, the race body is done. So let's see how it drives on the track. So we are here at the track, and now we deliver the finished product to the owner. Now he is going to test drive this, and hopefully we have a good experience today. And brush paint the body.
14.5 15.4 16.6 15.7